Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this week's Inside Scoop with the UNA SGA. My name is Annabelle Howes, and we have an amazing show lined up for y'all. SGA President Kerrigan Martis. Hey, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it, and we're really excited for this opportunity just to tell everybody a little bit more about SGA.
Absolutely. We have just a few questions for y'all, and so let's get started.
All right.
So, as newly elected president, what are some issues or inspirations that motivated you to run for this office?
I think for this office especially, it is a really big responsibility. It's a really big role, and I think last year as Legislative Affairs Chair, I just kind of saw a need for some good leadership. It's really important to make sure that all students are represented, and I know that myself and my Vice President thought we'd do that really well. As well as that, we're pretty passionate about parking. Also, we knew that the Lions were going to be a trying time for the university, and we wanted to kind of help with that conversation as well. But I think we're just really passionate, and we wanted to make sure that there were people who cared in this position and really just wanted the good for all students.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what are some things that you're doing differently in your first term?
Differently from last year or from maybe past presidents?
Let's just say past presidents.
Okay, I think one thing that maybe I'm trying to do a little differently is instead of focusing on maybe trying to get bigger things done immediately, maybe trying to focus on long-term goals. So certain things is parking, certain things like facilities and services. I know a lot of food options here. Those things, they take a lot of time. And so I think most people, when they can't get it done immediately, they get kind of discouraged in that. But I think the biggest thing is if you start something that other people after you can kind of pick up on, and they can go on with that. So we're just trying to leave SGA a better place than what we found it. Updating our files, making sure we leave a good record of everything so that next year they can pick up on those things and really just make incremental and impactful change over not just this year, but the next 5 years, the next 10 years. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So, looking ahead, what are the most exciting plans, or I'm sorry, I skipped ahead one. Parking is, going back to parking, parking has actually been a hot topic on campus lately. Can you tell us some of the initiatives that SGA is working on to improve availability on campus?
Yeah, so I think, going into this year, it's obviously a really, really, really big task. It's not something that just a few senators can just sit around and solve by themselves. It's not something that the executive branch can solve by themselves. So in SGA, the president has the ability to establish ad hoc committees. So these are just special committees designed for that one specific task, and then when that task is resolved, so is the committee. So I initiated the creation of a parking ad hoc committee for this year. So we meet bi-weekly. Currently, we've met with facilities, and we've gotten together a lot of parking research. We've also met with the Office of Institutional Research on campus, and they're doing a project for us right now, seeing when commuters are at campus the most, and then also pairing that with our residential data and saying, do we have enough parking for the residential students that already live here? And when do we have the most residents, and when do we have the most commuters, and kind of going from there. So right now we're compiling research in that committee, and we're hoping to have a resolution ready by this December Board of Trustees in CLAD meeting.
So. Absolutely. As a commuter myself, that's very encouraging to hear. So I'm excited to see some new horizons appearing with that. And so if the final question I have for you is, looking ahead, what are the most exciting plans or initiatives that SGA has for the rest of the year that students should be keeping an eye out for?
Oh, okay. I have two, really. So I don't know if you guys have noticed or if any of the students on campus have noticed, but we're currently doing a food truck every single month. So this is to make sure that students have another food option on campus. Like I said, we can't, build another restaurant in here by ourselves or do anything like that. However, we did make sure to have our treasurer. She might speak a little bit more on this later. But we do have a food truck every single month that will be here giving another food option for students, and all those proceeds go towards student counseling service on campus. And then as well as that, we're going to be having a 5K for all the students, and it's going to be hosted on March the 15th, I believe. And on that day, we're going to have all those proceeds also go to student counseling services, because mental health and well-being is a really, really, really big point of focus for us and our administration this year. And we know that, election year, all things like that, we just want to make sure our students are taking care of themselves, and that also that resource on campus is getting the funding that it needs.
So. Absolutely. That's really encouraging to hear.
Yeah.
So those are all the questions I had for you. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling to educate and serve others all over the world. Today, I'm right where I belong, and I'm headed where I'm meant to be.
Growing up with older brothers, I learned how to speak up for myself. I also learned that having a strong support system means everything. In high school, I found my calling during an internship at a local hospital. And I knew this is what I was made for. So when it came time to find the right school, North Alabama was the perfect fit. Here, I'm listened to, empowered, and prepared for the future.
So could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role?
Of course. My name is Mandy McGinnis, and I currently serve as the Vice President of the Student Government Association this year. I work directly with the committees, ensuring that they're meeting their goals and their timelines throughout the year.
Okay. What do you wish more students knew about SGA and the impact it has on campus?
I wish they were a little bit more involved with our events. I know Kerrigan had mentioned our SGA food trucks, and just so that they're seeing a little bit more about what we do and what it's impacting on campus, and so that they're a little bit more understanding of how we're making change on campus and at UNA.
Yeah. What are some goals as vice president that you're passionate about?
I'm really passionate about student counseling services and just trying to support their needs throughout the year, and so I'm trying to plan socials right now with their department and SGA and trying to make sure that our senators and our freshman forum delegates are understanding of how to best support their mental health needs, but also to supporting their resources so that they can better help students on campus.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you explain to me why you wanted to run for this position?
Yeah, of course. So with me and Kerrigan, we really just wanted to make sure that SGA was better representing the students, so getting out there, talking to other people, and that's kind of what we did throughout our campaign of hearing out other students. So we went and talked to different RSOs on campus to not only push our platform, but also to see what they wanted. We pushed a survey to try to see what they would like for this upcoming year, and so that's kind of some feedback that we've been implementing this year, and we've kind of taken that initiative and pushed it on throughout the school year. So with our RSO outreach initiative, where sending representatives from SGA to different RSO meetings and just trying to see what they want, and so that was one really big thing for us.
And what does being a part of SGA meaning to you?
Well, I would say last year I served as the budget oversight chair, and so with that it was great getting to represent students, but also to working with the senators to try to really support other initiatives on campus, events, and organizations. That was just really meaningful to me, just to be that helpful piece in that situation. But this year, being vice president, it's really just been, honestly, just being that helpful voice. I can't say it enough, working with the committees, being able to help their goals come to fruition, and just seeing them being able to meet their deadlines and make their events happen.
It's really wonderful. Well, that's all I have for you, so
Yeah.
Thank you for your time, and we're going to take a quick break real quick, and we'll be right back.
Great, thank you.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling, to educate and serve others all over the world. Today, I'm right where I belong, and I'm headed where I'm meant to be.
Growing up with older brothers, I learned how to speak up for myself. I also learned that having a strong support system means everything. In high school, I found my calling during an internship at a local hospital. And I knew this is what I was made for. So when it came time to find the right school, North Alabama was the perfect fit. Here, I'm listened to, empowered, and prepared for the future.
Hey, welcome back. I'm here with UNA SGA Secretary Abigail Cuz. I just have a few questions for you.
Yeah.
If students want to get involved in SGA or contribute to any of the initiatives we've discussed today, what are the best ways for them to get started?
So first of all, our Senate meetings are open to everybody, so students are always more than welcome to come in and listen in to what we're talking about. They're always open to everybody, so anything that we're discussing, they're here and they can give us our feedback. And then we have our elections in January, so they can always go out and run for a position if they would like to. And then throughout the year as well, like we usually have like open senator seats that come up, and they're always more than welcome to apply for those.
Okay. How can the student body be more involved with helping SGA reach their goals?
I think one big thing that we could do is like what was mentioned earlier. We had a lot of food trucks and stuff, like more of our initiatives. And I think one way that they can be more involved is just getting out and reaching out to like all of the different food trucks that we have. Just having like a good representation and showing up and supporting and giving like anything that they can, like that really means a lot.
Yeah. And what are some of your future plans for your role?
Some of my future plans for my role. So up next, I am planning inauguration for all of our newly elected senators and rewarding all of our past senators for all of the hard work that they have done this year. And then also, I'm in charge of making sure that like all of our absences and records are up to date. So on top of that, I would just like to boost senator morale and get more senators to come out and just show up and show out for SGA.
Absolutely. Do you have anything else that you'd like to say to the campus?
I would just like to say to get out there and really make your voice heard. We are all here to help make the student body better, and we would like to do anything that we can to make UNA a better place.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling, to educate and serve others all over the world. Today, I'm right where I belong, and I'm headed where I'm meant to be.
Growing up with older brothers, I learned how to speak up for myself. I also learned that having a strong support system means everything. In high school, I found my calling during an internship at a local hospital. And I knew this is what I was made for. So when it came time to find the right school, North Alabama was the perfect fit. Here, I'm listened to, empowered, and prepared for the future.
Hey, welcome back. I'm here with SGA Treasurer Mia Batchelor. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Could you tell us a little bit about what falls under your responsibilities as treasurer?
Yes. So at the beginning of the year, I present a budget. The university awards us $54,000, and we go from there, and the Senate determines how we want to spend that money throughout the year. So primarily, I work with everyone in Senate to spend those funds, and after that, I also chair and create a committee to award our endowed scholarship every year.
Okay. In terms of allocating funding, or allocation funding, what are top priorities of this year's budget?
For allocating funding, that typically goes towards, the allocations are for the student activity fee, and those go towards supporting different registered student organizations on campus. But this year as a Senate, we, for our personal budget, we work towards giving committees room to promote their goals for the semester, like budget oversight. They are over the allocation. Student welfare, promote student welfare on campus. So doing those personal goals of the committees, and then the larger administrative goals such as our food trucks and other goals for like supporting student counseling services. So it really is up to the Senate every year on what they want to promote.
Okay. What do you think is the most important part of your job as treasurer?
So I think the most important part of my job is just staying on top of everything, because not everyone is constantly thinking about all the inflows and outflows of our organization. So I can hear that a group wants to host an event in a few weeks, and I usually have to make sure I follow up with everyone to make sure we're on a good timeline for spending their funds. So being very detail-oriented and keeping my mind on a lot of different topics all at once.
And my last question for you today is, you've been serving SGA for quite some time now. What kind of positive change have you seen over the last few years?
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of very positive change through that the Student Government Association has done for the campus and for my personal life as well. But I think primarily that the student government has really improved on is listening to feedback from students and acting on that. As we are part of the shared governance structure, we have the ability to make a lot of positive change on this campus, and I think that's something that we've really improved on.
Wonderful. Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you tune back in.